Okay, the dating courting process.
Okay.
Walk me through what you think as a Christian should be the dating or courting process.
Right. Okay. So
Step one.
all right.
What am I doing?
All right. So real quick, let me preface this with a couple things.
Yeah.
Number one, I don't need to use the word courting. I mean, if you want to use the word courting, fine. Okay.
But I like it because it's a Christian word.
I don't know if it's even
and it makes it sound weird.
I don't even know if it's a Christian word. It's just a word. Like,
fine.
You know, so like,
I'll just use courting then.
It's fine. Like, whatever.
Okay.
All right. A couple things.
All right.
I think number one, so there's a book that, and I've mentioned this book before back when I was in college, called Kiss Dating Goodbye.
Oh yeah.
I Kiss
By some
Dating
weird
Goodbye.
guy.
Joshua Harris wrote it. And so that's a terrible book.
And he ended up being gay or something.
Well, he just, no.
Oh, okay.
But he ended up, you know, he and his wife unfortunately divorced, and then he actually ended up just leaving the faith entirely.
Oh,
yeah. And so, but he wrote this book when he was young. He wasn't even married yet. Like, it's just
right.
Why? But anyway, it became a big thing. People started kind of like following it, and I think that's kind of when there was like this kind of a courting kind of revolution, if you were, because he was like, no dating, yes to courting. And courting again was always in the context of families.
I thought we weren't using that word anymore.
No, I'm not saying that. All I'm saying is I don't feel like we have to use that word when I'm going to be talking about dating here. In a second, okay. And so my point just being is like, so that's a terrible book. All right.
Yeah.
So don't follow the advice of that book.
Okay.
There's another book.
Kiss dating. Kiss dating goodbye.
Yeah. Don't read I Kiss Dating Goodbye.
Right. Or no, kiss I kissed dating goodbye. Yeah.
No, there's another book called Boundaries in Dating.
Okay. And this guy ended up being gay.
No. So this is the book I would recommend to people.
Oh,
all right. So like if you're looking for a resource of what should it look like or what could it look like in regards to Christian dating, I think this book by Cloud and Townsend is the best. It's the book I would recommend. Right. It's called Boundaries in Dating.
I hate this already, but keep going.
You just don't like the word boundaries.
I was glad when you hated the first one, but now I'm upset that you like this one. Like, I'm not reading a book about this. Are you kidding?
Well, you don't have to. You're married. That's
right. I already screwed that up.
You should have read the book. That's where your problem was. So anyway, I think that's a good book that gives a healthy, picture of actual Christian dating. Okay. And so,
all right. So walk me through the book.
All right. Well, I'm not going to necessarily walk you through the book, but I will walk you through, as you asked, like a process of dating. Okay. And obviously, number one, when we're for Christians, hopefully, whether it's dating or anything else in life, we're not separating it from our Christian faith, right? And so we want the dating experience to be something that would actually be loving toward God and loving toward the other. Okay. All right. And so therefore it would glorify the Lord in doing so. So I think that's kind of the first thing going in, like, I want to love the Lord and I want to love the other person in the midst of this dating process, right?
Okay.
And so
I'm 8 years old. I pick up this book, ready to start dating. First step is
you're definitely not
love
ready.
The Lord.
Right. You're definitely not ready at 8. Okay. So, and
I'm sorry, ready to start courting.
Whatever. All right. Well, we're not doing it at 8. I don't care what you call it.
Okay.
And so, and so I think for individuals that, when we're looking to start like a dating process. All right. So, so first of all, hopefully, or not hopefully, the person that you are, let's say, going out on a date with, right? They are Christian. Like that has to be like the bare, like, minimum standard.
Okay. And what does this date look like?
All right. So, I mean, whether it's you're going out with a group of friends, okay, or whether one of them is going over to the other's house, right?
Okay.
I'm cool with either of those things. All right. And so, but
Joseph, you're married.
I know. And so, okay. Well, okay. I would be cool with either of those things for, let's say, my oldest son. How about that? Okay. And so I think that my point being is when we're dating.
Wait, what are all the other options though?
What's that?
Yeah.
What are the other options?
You're cool with these two options.
Right.
But what are the ones that you're not cool with?
I'm not. Okay. So I'm not cool with, hey, let's go. I'm thinking of South Georgia, but anyway, like, all right, hey, how about you and I, let's go hang out at the farm, or let's go hang out in the field, or let's go, like, I'm telling you South Georgia stuff,
the
right?
Farm? Let's go to the quarry. Let's go hang down by the creek.
My point being is,
we can skip rocks and poke stuff with sticks. Zing.
Okay. Okay. My point being is, let's. All right.
Oh man! Even at night, it's still hot down here.
It really is. All right. So my point being is, like, anytime we get ourselves in a private, secluded situation.
Okay, so that's your point.
That's the issue.
No private, secluded, wooded areas,
or going parking somewhere. Right.
Right.
That's like. That's the issue.
You always get caught when you do that, though. Somehow they find you. It's crazy.
It really is true.
I just don't get it.
It really is true. But anyways, I think for me, that's like the bigger thing. Like, we're not talking about like going hang out with, you're going on a date with some friends, or you're going to be at, your parents' places or whatever. Like, you're in public settings, or you're with family, or you're with friends. Like, in other words, you're in group settings. Like, and so all it's doing is
so you just want your kid to be somewhere where you can watch.
Not necessarily where I can watch. If they're out with their friends, cool, right? Like, again, my point just being is, like, to be somewhere where you're removing that element of temptation away.
And why? Okay. So I got a question.
Okay.
Why do you think that removes that element of temptation away? Because I don't think that works.
Well, okay. Why don't you think it works?
Because my, yeah, that's why. Because my stuff didn't just turn off because you're in the room.
No.
I'm still gonna want to do stuff.
Sure. No. Okay. I'm not saying that it removes. I'm saying it removes any kind of desire. Okay.
But you said it removes the temptation.
Well, okay. I'm sorry. Let me clarify. The temptation of actually acting upon.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Oh.
So
All
yeah.
right.
So no. I'm not saying it removes any kind of like desire or anything, right?
Okay.
And my point just being is, and you're like, well, why does, is that the big focus of it? No, it's just, if I can remove that element, right, then the date can be about really getting to actually know that person, interact with that person. Okay.
Okay. So other counterpoint then.
Okay.
How can I really get to know another person when one of our dads is in the room?
Right.
I'm not really getting to know you at all.
Yeah. Okay. No, that's fair.
Yeah.
So we were talking about like process point one.
Okay.
Okay. So I'm not saying.
So this is point one.
Right. I'm not saying there's not.
So later we can go somewhere where we want to go without you.
100%. Go hang out at Starbucks. Go
okay.
Go have a meal together
with other people.
Yeah, with other people, or just, I mean, like, if you need to go have, if you need to go, hang out at Starbucks in a public space and you each get there in your own vehicle. Like, because, I mean, we're not talking about all just teenagers here. Like, you're in your 20s or 30s or 40s or whatever. You want to go on a date? No, I'm not going to go over to mom and dad's house all the time. Right?
Mom.
Right? I mean, like, so to make this like tangible for anyone, regardless of age. Okay. So, and we're probably not going to always be able to do things with friends. So can we show up and have a meal together? Yeah. You show up and go to Starbucks together. Absolutely. Okay. Right? Like, my point just being is, but remain in those public spaces.
Okay.
And you can get to know each other in that way.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. Step 2.
Okay. Well,
what's the book say?
Well, I think the whole, and I think the point of dating is to get to know that person, right? And so and hopefully discover.
Wait, so that was all the steps? So the entire time you're dating, first date is come over, let's hang out with my dad, and then and then every day after that is 2 cars to Starbucks.
What?
And then at some point you decide whether you want to marry them or not marry them. And then if you do want to marry them, you keep meeting at Starbucks until you want to get married.
Okay, I'm not saying we don't do like go to church together, right?
Oh, okay.
Go to church together.
Churches have coffee shops.
Some do.
Some of them.
Some of them do.
So you can meet there.
Yep. Yeah. So this is true.
Yeah.
This is true. So yeah, but I mean, go to church together. Go see a baseball game together, right? Like, okay. I mean, I'm just saying, like, I'm not saying it always has to be like literally like we're at Starbucks every single night, right?
Why is your dad on the Jumbotron?
He's everywhere, man. Yeah. Right. So no, so I'm not saying like no, like I'm not saying don't go do things together. No, go do things together.
Lookalikes. Jessica's dad.
Oh, right. So yeah. Yeah. Okay. So you see what I'm saying?
I get it.
All right.
Sounds just expensive. And yeah.
Going to church doesn't cost you anything.
Wow. Okay. So are we done with this question?
I don't. Apparently we are. Apparently so.
Okay. So but wait. Yeah. Everybody else dates differently. So why do you think? Why is that the Christian way of doing it, and everybody else is wrong? According to you.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. I get what you're saying. Okay. So like, all right. My point in all of this is like, for a Christian, mm-hmm. right? Like we want to be able, like, so if I'm dating someone, I want to be able to, again, I want to love the Lord and love and respect them in the midst of the process. Mm-hmm. Okay. So part of that love and respect, is to honor them and to treat them like, so like, as a child of God. And so we're wanting to not, again, it's not just about remaining pure. And I think in a lot of like, especially like in like youth group settings, probably when you were growing up, mm-hmm. it was like the dating thing was just like, don't have sex.
Yeah, that's it.
Right? Like that's
what you said at the beginning.
That was the talk. Well, like
you said, do everything everybody else does.
Well, yeah.
But don't have sex.
Well, I'm saying what it looks like is often that. Okay. But my point being is like, but it's got to be more than just like, don't have sex. It's like, okay, so what does it look like for me to actually get to know, to interact with this person, to find out and discover things about myself, about them, like there is a whole interaction thing that's going on. And I think it actually can be really healthy. And it can actually help you, determine, no, this is not the type of person that I need to date and so there I'm going to connect with, well. And so I do think it actually helps form a little bit of a, form a sense of of what is it that I'm actually looking for, in another person.
Why do you think the sex part ruins your perfect Christian dating courting process? Why is that the hard no?
Yeah, because we were, as individuals created in the image of God, as individuals created by the Lord, the Lord actually puts in these, and I like the word that boundaries in dating, these boundaries, if you were, to actually help us stay healthy within ourselves and in our relationships with others.
Okay.
And I think when sex becomes a part of the relationship, now we've entered into another step of intimacy that really is reserved for just marriage. And the reason that it's reserved for just marriage, it's not just because of, that's, where the Lord just is demanding it that way and that's just the way it is and da-da-da. It's also because...
Yeah, we've talked about this and it doesn't make sense.
Okay. Of
why... yeah. I feel like I tried to get you to make sense of it for me and I don't get it.
Of why not to have sex before marriage?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think for me, again, it's entering in to a place of intimacy that is supposed to be reserved for only you and your spouse.
Okay.
Okay. And so there's even statistically, individuals that have sex before marriage, the marriage has a much more difficult time in just quote unquote secular stats, that counselors have, and their own recommendations. Oftentimes that would be the case. And so I think that sex is, again, it's a sacred act between a husband and a wife. And that, again, it's because it's not just about the physical act. There's actually an intimacy that's happening that is emotional, that's mental, that's spiritual, that's all part of coming together as a husband and a wife. And so where there's an intimacy there, that all of that is actually supposed to be kept sacred and kept holy. And I think that one of the things that happens is when sex is occurring prior to marriage for Christians, and it's oftentimes what happens is that act is no longer seen as holy. It's no longer seen as something that is that is quote unquote, a good gift. It's oftentimes for Christians, you walk away feeling, there's either guilt or shame or just a sense of, now I'm really intimately connected with this individual. Even if there's not guilt and shame, and even removing the Christian part of it just for non-Christians, there may not be the guilt and shame of having sex, right? For the non-Christian, okay, there's no guilt and shame. But now oftentimes, when and if that relationship ends, oftentimes now there's, I'm looking back at it and I'm wishing I had not gotten that intimately involved with that individual and given that part of myself to that person.
Okay.
And so I feel like that's why the Lord really is trying to establish these things to keep it healthy and to keep it, good and, free of any kind of regret or guilt or shame or harm or hurt. And so it's protecting not only just the physical act of it, but it's also protecting our own hearts in it.
Okay.
And so for me, that's why sex should not be a component of dating or courting, if you want to call it that. And so, for me, that is why.
Okay. So what I would say is that none of the things that you just said about what sex is provable.
What do you mean?
Like that it's spiritual or mental or all the other things beyond a physical act.
Well, that's not true. I mean, on the most basic level, it's emotional, right?
Okay.
And the emotions and emotions become tied up into it.
I guess.
Yeah. Now, from a male perspective,
but God's not saying it's an emotional problem. It's a spiritual problem, right?
Well, I think that's where, and I know I even use languages like, emotional or whatever and distinguish it between spiritual. But I think that for the Lord, he's always looking at the whole of a person, the wholeness. And so I don't think there's many acts or things that we do that aren't affecting the other parts of who we are.
Okay.
And so I think we would be naive to think that I do something physical with my body, that it doesn't have a connection to my soul and my spirit. I think that's naive to think that.